Pelissä mukana Veikkaus, vedonlyönti.
Tiesithän, että akkukauppa Kemppainen on muutakin kuin akkuja. Meiltä löytyy hydrauliikka, pneumatiikka, autokemikaalit, työkalut, hitsaus, voiteluaineet, suodattimet, raskaan kaluston varaosat ja tarvikkeet. Niin, ja aurinkopaneelit sekä työvaatteet.
Satanen vetoaa, että vessapaperia ei ainakaan ole.
Kyllä nekin saat meiltä.
Akkukauppa Kemppainen Kasarmin kadulla Kajaanissa, akkukauppakemppainen.fi.
Ai että. Onpa rauhallista.
Niilo, herää. Herää, Niilo.
Jymyn unista vierasreissulla huolehtii Green Star Hotels.
Hello, it's pesis time. We are here at the fabulous Hiukka Ballpark in Sotkamo. For the next few hours, we'll be introducing you to pesäpallo, national sport of Finland. My name is Juuso Hyvönen, this is Janne Hyvönen.
Hello, hello. We'll be announcing a full game live between Sotkamo and Imatra.
We want you to get acquainted with the rules and strategies of pesäpallo. So, first question is, what kind of game is this?
It's a game derived from baseball.
But it's a completely different game.
It has been played in Finland for over 100 years. It was invented by Tahko Pihkala, and it has many similarities with baseball, which we will soon find out. You have 3 bases, you have 3 outs, you have 3 strikes. The object of the game is to score runs, but the field is very different from the baseball diamond. The bases are in a zigzag form, and the distance between the bases varies from base to base.
The field of play is a defined area. Batter has to hit the ball inside the area for it to be fair, similarly to tennis. Outside of the field of play, the hit is foul.
The pitcher has to pitch the ball vertically, at least 1 meter above his head.
Batter has 3 strikes before he has to run. If the batter hits the ball within the area of play, he is eligible to run, but doesn't have to, unless it's his 3rd strike. The home plate is a circle, and home base stretches in a half circle all the way from here to here.
There are 9 fielders on each team, and there are 12 batters on each team.
The batting team surrounds the pitcher and batter in home base.
The manager of the batting team is also at home base, and he gives signals to the runners and the batter.
These signals give the runners and the batter information whether to run on a pitch or not. The fielders are trying to throw the runners out by throwing the ball to the next base before the runner advances to it. Fielders cannot tag the players out unless in a certain circumstances.
For example, when a runner is picked off by the pitcher. One of the biggest differences between pesäpallo and baseball is that if you catch a fly ball in pesäpallo, that is not an out.
Runners advancing on a catched ball are not out, they're caught, but they can still be thrown out by the fielders if they throw the ball to the next base before the runners.
Löydä uusi Bestis. Kesän makeimmat kaverit 3 eri maussa. Maista uudet Jättis Bestis Classic, suolainen kinuski sekä salmiakki.
Pitäis päästä johonkin, missä sielu lepää ja ruumis ottaa rennosti. Mut ei kuitenkaan liian rennosti. Ja ehkä kuitenkin pohjoiseen.
Loma niin kuin ajattelit. Vuokramökit ja loma-asunnot Holiday Clubilta.
Kainuun ammattiopisto. Vastuullisen tulevaisuuden tekijä. Oppimisen ja osaamisen mahdollistaja. Monialainen ammatillinen kouluttaja. Hae meille, toteutetaan yhdessä sinun urapolkusi.
But we can talk about the rules more during the game. But now, why are we here in Sotkamon? What is so special about this team?
Sotkamon Jymy, tonight's home team, is the most successful team in pesäpallo history. Starting from year 1963, Jymy has won 20 Finnish championships. And during the last 34 years, Jymy has been on the top constantly.
Lyöjät käymässä vähin. Etuväärä. Mäkelä lyö keskelle kenttää. Sotkamon Jymy voittaa mestaruuden kesällä 2023 ja sallistaa seurahistorian 20. Suomen mestaruuden. Se kaataa finaalisarjan ennakkosuosikkina lähteneen Finpelin vedon otteluvoitoin 3-1 ja samassa pelinjohtaja Mikko Kuosmasesta tulee ensimmäinen pelinjohtaja miesten superpesiksessä, joka saavuttaa 5. mestaruutensa.
Huota Aapo. Noniin. Koko kaikki. Noniin.
Jymy is also current champion, having won it all last year.
And all this success and the fact that Jymy is one of the biggest brands in Finnish sports is even more impressive because of the fact that Sotkamo is a town with a population of only 10,300. Recently, pesäpallo has been gaining a lot of interest all over the world, especially in the United States. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we are doing this broadcast in English.
Now we will be talking to Ron Bronson in Portland, who has been following pesäpallo for 15 years and is one of the biggest fans of the sport in the US.
Korpitaksi. Kainuulaista yhteen hiileen puhaltamista on myös se, että kulkuyhteydet toimivat entistä jouhevammin. Palvelemme sinua aidolla, luotettavalla ja toisesta välittävällä asenteella, niin kylillä kuin korvessakin. Korpitaksi.
Kiinnostaako uusiutuva energia tai tarvitsetko työkaluja vastuullisuusraportointiin? Ympäristölaskentaa, kannattavuustarkasteluja, tavoitteiden asettamista. Ratkaisujen etsimistä juuri sinun tarpeisiisi. Maailman vastuullisinta ruokaketjua rakentamassa. Envitecpolis.fi.
Vuokatti-fiilis. Mieltä virkistävien kokemusten sekä kehon täydellisen rentoutumisen yhteisvaikutuksena syntyvä varsin valloittava tunnetila. Tuppa nauttimaan. Vuokatti.fi.
Tule sinäkin pelaamaan kotimaista nettibingoa. Avaa pelitili nyt ja saat 10 € ilmaista pelirahaa. bingoon.fi.
So Ron, tell us, how did you find Finnish pesäpallo?
So, gosh, around 2010, maybe earlier than this, I found out that they play a version of baseball in Finland, and I thought this was interesting. But it wasn't until around 2011 that I started to decide to try to follow the sport, which you may remember in those days was very difficult. Teams didn't have video online. There was like 3-day old videos that I'd find. They didn't have any commentary. There was no explanation of what was going on. And so that's how I started following the sport. It was around those days. And I've been doing it ever since then.
Okay, what was the intriguing thing when you found out that there's this kind of little bit like baseball, but
right?
What interested you?
Exactly that. So I've always been intrigued. I mean, I grew up a baseball fan. I didn't play baseball. I'm a tennis player actually, and coach tennis. I coach tennis, but in my spare time. But I've loved baseball my whole life, and realizing there was a sport that was similar to baseball, being played only in Finland and nowhere else, was very intriguing to me. It's not cricket, which was a sport that I tried to get into, but I found it very confusing. With pesis, I'm like, oh, I think I can kind of make sense of this a little bit. So that's what made me more intrigued by it. I thought it was really fast, but mostly I just thought it was a really intriguing novelty, as we call it in English, to try to figure out like what was going on and try to understand the sport. And as somebody who, one of the side things that I guess worth mentioning is that I spent in my early years spent time actually like developing sports. So actually like making up sports games, like how do you invent a sport? And I succeeded in doing this. And so that part of like, oh, someone 100 years ago invented a sport only that's survived in one country and it's been successful was sort of the extra bonus part. But mostly I just think that pesäpallo is really unique. It's like baseball, tactically really smart and really like I said, similar enough to baseball that if you are a baseball fan, within one game I can explain the sport to you, you can follow it. But as you get more into it, the details get more interesting. And so that's what drew me to it, was just that it was easy enough for me to understand that, okay, I think I generally understand what's happening here. And then I did, as time went on, started learning more and more.
You were intrigued? What happened then? You said that it was difficult, very difficult to find. Even living in Finland, it was difficult to see the games. So,
right.
What did you do?
Oh, so I mostly just would watch videos online. I try to read anything I could on the internet, and I start posting about it on the internet. This is when Twitter was still pretty good. And so I post about this, I'd write articles and blogs, and other Finns would find my articles and respond to me and answer like, how did you find the same questions you're asking? How did you find this? What are you doing? This is ridiculous. Where do you live? And they would answer my questions. And so, they're friends of mine now. 2 or 3 guys would answer my questions, and they're friends of mine. When I go to Finland, I see them. And they would ask my questions and explain to me what was going on. And they were my first teachers in the sport. And then due to Twitter, I would use the pesis hashtag, as we all still do a little bit. And that I would watch games. This is when Ruutu started to become more of a thing. And that was how I started to do it. And so of course, then in 2017 or something like this, I got invited to the Finnish embassy in New York. I got to meet, the great Sotkamon legend Toni Kohonen, of course, among other people. And that's when it really became I became, I think, more of a ambassador for the sport than just a fan of the sport. And that's kind of where we are right now.
So you see that if someone reaches out and is interested in something in our culture, we're very glad to explain it, and very, very, very glad that somebody is interested in our sport. Well, how much time you'd say you have spent gathering information and just following pesäpallo?
I've been a pesäpallo fan for 15 years now, right? I've watched hundreds of games. I've been to Finland 3 different times. I've been to probably a dozen games in person all over Finland, men's and women's. I follow the men's and women's game. I don't just follow the men's game. I've been to Italansi. So I've seen games all over the country. And so I feel like I obviously don't know everything. I never played the sport right yet. So one of these years I'll come back and we'll get me into a community team. I'll spend a couple of weeks and I'll finally play. Yeah, I've just been watching a long time, so I feel like I've spent a lot of time. I watch pesäpallo. I don't watch baseball. That tells you how much I watch. Like pesäpallo is my summer sport. I watch pesis. I have friends I talk to on WhatsApp, and we communicate about pesäpallo. Like it is the one summer sport that I've been for years, since for years now. I think it's the thing that I gravitate towards. Like I get excited about pesis season. I watch all the Talvi Super. I watch the old winter games. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan just like you all are, obviously, of the sport.
And of course, we hope that the game we're seeing Thursday, it would be good game. It would have lots of those things that pesäpallo can give to people.
Right, exactly. Right, lots of action, lots of speed. I think that's the beauty of it. Even a 1-0 game of pesäpallo, it's still more action than a baseball game that is 1-0. Right, which is really nice. There's no boring pesäpallo. I mean, obviously boring if you are a fan sometimes, maybe, but I think that there's always things happening and you have to watch. I think that lends itself to being a game that is worth checking in on. People have been asking for this for a long time. We are serving a need that has been wanted for a really long time. So I think that there's no wrong way to do this. I think by just having it gives people the opportunity to say, okay, now I want more. I want to learn more. They're going to have a ton of questions. They're going to find this game 6 months from now and be asking you questions. I think it's really, really cool that it's happening.
It's about time.
Yes.
We, with me and my brother, we made the exercise at Wembley game. We took a microphone and made play-by-play. There were some difficulties we found and some things that we're now more trained to comment on. But what would you say is the most, your opinion, what's the most difficult thing to understand for a baseball person?
For a baseball person, the hardest thing, well, there's several things. One, the base paths being non-linear, right? Baseball, all the base paths are 90 feet apart. In pesäpallo, the distances go from 60 to 90 something, 96 to 110. It's really difficult to make trace out. I think the harder thing though is that you get 3 pitches per at bat. The batter has to run when they hit the ball. Everyone asks me when they say, "Wait, why didn't he run?" And I'm like, "Well, you didn't have to. There's reasons why you wouldn't run." I have a video about this. So I think that is probably the one thing that they're gonna watch. And number 2 will be if somebody catches the ball and they're not out. When someone were wounded, like, well, what happened? Why we caught it? Why weren't they out? Well, that's not how this works. It's a little bit different. Explaining, having to not what an out actually is versus someone just having to be wounded and sit down. I think these are the hardest concepts for baseball fans to understand.
Eli meillä on ensi viikolla työmaa Helsingissä, sitten Tampereella seuraava viikko ja sitten sen jälkeen Oulussa.
Kyllä.
Ja siis mun pitää soittaa vaan tänne, niin ne hoitaa kaikki matkajärjestelyt ja varaukset mun puolesta mihin tahansa.
Aivan.
No perkele.
Okay, Elmeri, what are your thoughts on today's game?
Well, Imatra has played well and we have to stay sharp all the time.
What are you thinking about today's, how important is today's game?
Well, it's the end of regular season and we have to fight for every point and every point matters a lot.
It's going to be a very warm weather. You're the speedster in Team Jymy. How do you prepare for the game?
Well, it's gonna be a tough night for me. I have to hydrate a lot and eat a lot before the game, so I have the energy to play.
Give us your thoughts on the season so far.
Well, I think this season has been better for me than the last one. I have gained a lot more confidence for my game and I have been enjoying playing much more.
Okay, you and Iivari Vihanto, you have both scored 28 runs this season. Which one of you guys is going to be on the top when the regular season ends?
I think we are going hand by hand till the end of the season.
You can build their attacking game from you, number 1, or from number 5, Vihanto. What do you think? How difficult will it be for Imatra to stop you?
I think it's very difficult for them to stop us. It's very nice to have me and Iivari on the team because it takes a lot of pressure from my game away.
And finally, what are your thoughts on the tonight's special event? We are broadcasting this game in English and people around the world can see you play. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's very good to have this kind of experiment and I hope there is a lot of viewers around the world to watch us tonight.
Are you gonna expect a lot of fan letters?
Maybe not on the first time, but maybe later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moro pojat.
Moro.
Tulitteko tähän Jymyn pelin herkkuja?
Joo.
Huippusuositut Ford-hyötyajoneuvot Wetteriltä. Luja ja luotettava ratkaisu jokaiselle kuljetusten ammattilaiselle. Tarpeeseen kuin tarpeeseen, myös sähköisenä. Fordit myy ja huoltaa. Wetteri Kajaani.
Jymy meitä johtaa, ei hidasteta, kova treenataan. Ei anneta periksi edes hetkeksi. Kentällä taisto käy, hiki virtaa. Kivikyrässä voittoa maistaa jokainen.
Nappaa unelmiesi työpaikka syöksymällä rohkeasti työnhakuun. Avoimet työpaikat löydät osoitteesta kuntarekry.fi.
Yksi päivä mä päätin yrittää ja aloitin rakentamaan oman näköistä elämää.
Rakenna oman näköinen elämä OP-kevytyrittäjänä.
Kannatti yrittää.
And good evening. We are live from Sotkamon. This is Super Pesis, Sotkamon Jymy versus Imatran Pallo-Veikot.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here. Yes, let's first get into today's teams. So, Sotkamon's opponent today is Imatran Pallo-Veikot. They have won 4 games out of their last 6, and they are currently battling for a playoff spot, currently on 9th place in the standings. And they won their previous game against Joensuu 1-0. And Sotkamo is currently second in the league, 5 points out of the first place. And with 8 games left of the regular season, these are very important games for both of these teams, trying to jostle for position in the standings.
Yes, the regular season consisting 30 games, and after the round 24, the first 7 teams will go to the upper league, and the remaining 6 teams play for against relegation, but also getting into the playoffs.
Yes, Jymy is currently in a 8-game winning streak, so they are coming in hot for this game, and they have played very well recently.
But Imatra also having made very good results during these last few rounds. They won against Joensuu on Tuesday, as the umpires are being
so we will certainly be in for a good game, and the weather here is great. It's very warm, excellent sunny weather for playing ball, and this definitely will be a hitter's weather. The ball will
the
be
expectation are that we're going to see a lot of runs. And now Imatra coming onto the field for the presentation before the match.
I could take this moment to run through a couple of key differences, since baseball is the game we will be comparing pesäpallo for our viewers today. So a few basic differences before we get to the game. So while in baseball the key battle is between the pitcher and the hitter, in pesäpallo it's the hitter versus all the fielders. And the pitcher is battling not just the hitter, but also the runner on base and the manager of the team, trying to find out what signals he's giving. And while in baseball it's hard to get on base, but easier to advance around the bases once you're on base, in pesäpallo it's easier to get on base. The first base is the shortest distance from home base, but it's progressively harder to get around the bases, and the longest distance is from third to home, so that is the hardest path to get around.
And it's easy to make contact with the ball and put the ball in play, but it's harder to put ball in the places where there are not any fielders. And that's what we are going to see, how the teams manage to put the players on the bases, and then power hitters will come to bat, and the game probably will be decided how each of those teams' power hitters will succeed.
Yes, and like I mentioned before, this weather will be an advantage to the hitters, so there will probably be a lot of situations where the runners is in position to score, and that would be probably we will be in for an exciting game today.
Yes, and now we're going to the start of the game.
Logovinsky.
Yes. So this is the traditional draw of choice. The captains will take turns with the head umpire, Kosti Rautiainen. And whichever captain gets the last grip will decide whether their team goes to bat or if they want to go to defense first. Joona Sikio is on the left, Imatra captain, and Aapo Komulainen, Sotkamon captain, on the right. And Aapo Komulainen gets the final grip. And that means that Sotkamo will go on to defense, and
Tiesithän, että akkukauppa Kemppainen on muutakin kuin akkuja. Meiltä löytyy hydrauliikka, pneumatiikka, autokemikaalit, työkalut, hitsaus, voiteluaineet, suodattimet, raskan kaluston varaosat ja tarvikkeet. Niin, ja aurinkopaneelit sekä työvaatteet.
Satanen vetoaa, että vessapaperia ei ainakaan ole.
Kyllä nekin saat meiltä.
Akkukauppa Kemppainen Kasarmin kadulla Kajaanissa, akkukauppakemppainen.fi.
So Imatra going to defense. We'll see the formation for Team Imatra.
Jymy is going on defense first.
Oh, excuse me. This is Imatra showing here, but Jymy, of course, is there.
Yes, and the game is played in two periods, consisting of 4 innings each. And the winner of, if one team wins both periods, they will be the winner, getting 3 points for the victory. If the periods are tied, then we will go into a shootout type resolution for the game. And each inning, of course, consists of an at-bat and defensive turn for each team.
Joona Sikiö, the first batter of the game. And the first pitch is a strike. It hits the home plate. And 3 strikes are in use for Sikiö, and he hits the second ball. Grounder to left and goes to first base. And now Mitri Pesonen, number 2.
And here we see the fielders are constantly changing their formation, trying to combat the hitter and put fielders in place where it's the easiest to hit the ball so that they advance to their second base.
Yes, the fielders are constantly shifting places. And in this situation we see on the outfield, Sotkamo has Hannes Pekkinen and Aleksanteri Huotari playing first base and catcher. And now Pekkinen gets that one and throws out the runner to third. The batter is Mikko Kosonen for Imatra. And that was a ball from pitcher Komulainen.
Yes, it was insufficient starting position
for the pitch. And it is needed that the hitter will know when the pitch is about to start, or the pitching motion is about to start. So 1 out, and Kosonen still has Mitri Pesonen on first, and he hits a fly ball that bounces on the outfield, and players are safe on second and first. Now number 4, Santeri Pasi.
Here we see the pitcher Aapo Komulainen throwing the ball, faking pitches, trying to find out whether the runner is going to start off on the first pitch.
And we see the fielders changing places. Pasi slices a bouncer to right side, and that's an excellent choice for this situation. Imatra has a man on third base. Second is a soft liner, goes to left fielder Jussi Korhonen.
But there was no signal on the play, so the runners don't advance.
That's a higher fly ball, and Korhonen will intentionally let the ball go to the ground, so bases will be loaded. Sotkamo wants to force Imatra into this situation where everybody needs to advance during the at-bat of number 12 hitter Ville-Veikko Olli. So this is a joker player who can come to at-bat in any situation where the manager of Imatra wants, and now he chooses, of course, his best power hitter Ville-Veikko Olli. And Hannes Pekkinen catches that one, throws the ball home before the runner. That's a second out. And still the second at first base must advance to next base during this at bat.
Yes, and here we saw on the first hit that was not there was no signal to advance from the manager, so it was a free hit from Olli, and the runner on third took a look at it and thought it was going into the outfield, so he took off, but Pekkinen caught that from the infield and he was able to make an easy out.
And now Jymy lets this ball drop, but it's
a fair ball.
Fair ball. It wasn't out of bounds, so Imatra gets a new. That was an easily catchable ball, but bit of a miscommunication. And now Toni Laakso is the batter against Pekkinen. And the throw is sufficient. Third out for Imatra, and we go to the Sotkamon Jymy coming to bat.
Showtime. To perform, we need partners with highest quality and ultimate endurance.
Einhell, proud partner of the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team. With Power Exchange. One battery for more than 250 tools for home and garden.
Together with Einhell, we achieve maximum performance.
Einhell, cordless excellence.
Toimiva netti saa hymyilemään kuin Naantalin aurinko. Meiltä löytyy luotettava ja nopea netti kaikille pientaloasukkaille. DNA-apuri on netin hankinnassa mukana alusta loppuun asti ja varmistaa, että saat netin, joka taatusti toimii niin kuin pitää.
So there was a lot of happening in that first inning. Firstly, we saw Jymy make an easy mistake on that pop-up fly, and that is a very common play in pesäpallo, those high pop-up fly balls that are intentionally hit. So that is an easy way to avoid being out. It's the easiest way to hit the ball, a high fly ball, and because a catch from a fly ball is not an out, it's only the players are caught and have to return to home base. So it's an easy way to avoid being out. So that they will be hit a lot during this game.
And now Elmeri Purmonen was the first batter. He hit a base hit, went to first. Now Jere Wikström, number 2 hitter. First one is caught, but no advancing there. A grounder, and it goes. It's going to be at least a double for Wikström. And it will score 2 runs.
Yes, it's a home run for Wikström here.
Yes.
So, yes, it's a great hit by Wikström between the fielders near the third base line, and he surprises them.
And the ball is a clear out hit. It bounces on the legal area, and then it goes out, and it goes all the way to the beach we have next to this ballpark, and with 2 fast runners, Purmonen, Wikström on the bases. Wikström hits a triple, which is a home run in pesäpallo. And he's there on the third base, waiting. And now Wikström already on the home base. Hannes Pekkinen, it's a bouncer, high bouncer to the right side, and it goes over the second baseman, and Wikström sees the situation and runs all the way.
Yes, Pekkinen got lucky there. He was trying to hit a powerful hit towards the second base line, but he didn't get all of it. He unintentionally hit a Baltimore chop, where the ball bounces very high. And Wikström was very alert at third. He just took off and was able to get in home base before the throw.
And Pekkinen hits a ball to the outfield, and it's caught off. And now Jymy goes straight to number 5 hitter. There's an option in pesäpallo in Super Pesis League. When there are no runners, the manager can decide that he wants a certain player to at bat, and now chooses number 5, Vihanto. And Vihanto hits a curved bunt and goes to first.
Yeah, so you can skip over batters in the batting order. So number 4 was skipped over, and number 5 came to bat.
Now number 6 batter, Kalle Kuosmanen.
Yes, and this is done because Vihanto is one of the faster players. He's a great base runner. So they wanted him to lead off with no runners on base.
Kuosmanen used 2 strikes, about to hit his 3rd strike, and both players trying to advance a base. Imatra seeking a way to make an out. And bouncer, it's a bit low, so they get Vihanto out at second, Kuosmanen on first, and now number 11 joker player Samuel Huotari. Slow roller.
Yes, on the previous play, it was a definite error by Vihanto. He stopped running. He thought he was going to be safe, and they were going to make an out of Kuosmanen on first base. So he stopped running for some reason, and that's why Imatra was able to make an out of him.
And also this Huotari trying to advance Kuosmanen, also a fast runner, but it wasn't nearly as good as he intended, and Kuosmanen was out on second, and now Komulainen came to bat and cleared the bases by hitting a high fly ball, and Imatra caught it. So 2 outs for Sotkamo. Jussi Korhonen hits the ball to right, goes to first, and joker player number 10, Roope Korhonen.
Korhonen is a great power hitter. He's one of the best players in league history. And he hits the ball very hard, and he's trying to advance Korhonen at least to second base, maybe even to third during this at-bat.
But Rasmus Surakka, Imatra pitcher, picks off Jussi Korhonen from first, so third out, and first inning is over. Jymy scored 3 runs, Imatra has no runs.
Ai että, onpa rauhallista.
Niilo, herää. Herää, Niilo!
Jymyn unista vierasreissulla huolehtii Green Star Hotels.
No, that was a great inning for Sotkamo. They got a great hit from Wikström, resulting in a home run, and then a lucky bounce from Pekkinen, and great base running from Wikström on that one. And yes, maybe before this inning starts, I could go through the pitch. So the pitcher has to gain the right to pitch by throwing the ball to one of the bases. Usually it's the first base they throw it to. After that, the pitcher is free to pitch, and by that the pitcher controls the tempo of the game, and the batters have to be ready for the pitch whenever it comes. And the pitch has to start above the plate by taking a clear starting position where the motion stops, and the pitch has to be made with a continuous motion, and the ball has to be thrown vertically at least 1 meter or 3 feet and 3 inches above the pitcher's head to be a legal pitch.
Yes, and pitcher doesn't have to wait for the batters to be ready. When he has the ball on home base, he can pitch the pitch whenever he wants.
Yes.
And it doesn't always have to be legal. The players need to be alert and try to get the bad pitches or balls.
Yes, and the other players you see in a circle around the home base. So they are trying to spot for the hitter, trying to spot the bad pitches. And they will yell out väärä, and then the hitter will not hit the ball.
And after that, home plate umpire shows us what was the call.
Yes. And like very much like in baseball, the calls by the home plate umpire are the most contested part of the game.
Foul ball. The ball wasn't hit over the arch, which is in front of home base. If the ball drops before that arch, it will be considered a foul ball. And Elmeri Purmonen gets the ball but throws it away. Imatra gets a free base here.
There's another very easy mistake to start this game by Purmonen.
Eero Kuitunen on second base and Nino Muuruvirta on first. The batter is Roope Seppänen. Trying up a curved bunt, but it goes foul.
Yes, that would have been a great bunt if it had been fair. The fielder was fooled, Pekkinen, that the bunt was coming in the middle, and the last minute he turned the bunt towards third baseline. But unfortunately for
that was a ball.
Seppänen, it was foul.
And last strike, and he hits it a bit foul from the right side, and it was his third strike, and Seppänen is out, the first out.
Yes, so in pesäpallo, if you foul on your third strike, you're out.
There are no replays if the third strike goes foul. Toni Laakso, number 11 hitter, a joker player for Imatra. Ville Kotro got a hold of the first strike. Komulainen throwing a ball.
He's trying to pick off the runner. The runner was ready and the other players were ready for the bad pitch.
And Laakso hits a bouncer that goes all the way to the outfield. Jussi Korhonen stops it, but Imatra has bases loaded. And Ville-Veikko Olli gets another chance in this inning, trying to score the first run, hit the first run for his team.
And again we see a different formation from the Jymy fielders, trying to combat the best hits from Olli.
Fly ball to Jussi Korhonen, he calls it, nobody advances. 2 strikes left. And the manager of Imatra team, Vesa Toikka, signals to his players that this is the strike that Kuitunen comes home, but Jymy catches the ball and second out is made. And now Imatra has 2 outs and a third strike coming from Olli. Difficult situation, so
they will probably go for a high pop-up fly ball to avoid third out. No, he goes for it and it's foul.
Try to hit the ball, a risky shot towards the third base, but a foul and a third out. We go to the bottom of second inning.
Löydä uusi Bestis. Kesän makeimmat kaverit 3 eri maussa. Maista uudet Jättis Bestis Classic, suolainen kinuski sekä salmiakki.
Pitäis päästä johonkin, missä sielu lepää ja ruumis ottaa rennosti. Mut ei kuitenkaan liian rennosti. Ja ehkä kuitenkin pohjoiseen.
Loma niin kuin ajattelit. Vuokramökit ja loma-asunnot Holiday Clubilta.
So at this point you have seen a little bit from the strategy of the game. So you have noticed that there's the manager in home base using a multicolored fan to signal the players during the inning. There are a lot of signals during a pesäpallo game. It's a very tactical, very strategic game. And there are 3 basic signals. There's a signal for the runner to start straight from the pitch, where he takes off as soon as the pitch comes out of the hand of the pitcher. Then there's the delayed start, where the runner waits for the ball or bad pitch for a second before taking off. And the 3rd basic signal is a free hit, where the runners don't advance unless the hit is good enough. And here we see a free hit.
And Purmonen already on first base, Wikström at bat.
And that was a signal error. Wikström was hitting a chopper to advance Purmonen, but Purmonen didn't advance. He made an error, that pitch.
And that was a 3rd strike, goes foul from left side. Wikström is out. First out, and Hannes Pekkinen, number 3 hitter, coming to bat.
Again, a free hit where the hitter is trying to go for a double or even a home run. Pekkinen hits it foul.
Second one is caught. And now a high fly ball.
So Jymy doesn't want to risk a second out this early in the batting order. So they play it safe and hit a fly ball.
Murovirta catches it, and 2 players are off the field, but they're not out. Now number 5 hitter Vihanto already at bat. A bouncer towards right. He goes to first. Kalle Kuosmanen, number 6.
And then there we see a skilled bunt from Kuosmanen. He fools the infielders that he's going to bunt it towards 3rd baseline, and at the last moment he switches and hits with the other end of the bat. And here we also saw a fine line drive from Vuotari.
Vihanto on 3rd base, Kuosmanen going to 2nd with this carved bunt, and Vuotari on 1st base. So bases loaded, and Roope Korhonen will come to bat for Jymy. The situation that Jymy manager Iiro Haimi wanted. And now Surakka checking out his outfield. Are the players on right places?
Yes.
So
Roope Korhonen is the current league leader in RBIs. He's also the all-time leader in RBIs. And he's one of the greatest sluggers of all time. And he's played in the Super Pesis League since 2000. This is his 25th season. And he has 1,599 RBIs in the regular season.
So this might be the time to hit his 1,600 RBI, but we'll see. 3rd strike left. Surakka throws the ball to 2nd base. Here's the pitch, not yet. Still the outfielders checking that they're in the right places. And the ball bounces over Surakka, but doesn't go anywhere for anybody to advance. When the ball is in play, everybody are free to advance. The last hit is foul. So Roope Korhonen is out, but there are still bases loaded now. Joker number 12, Veeti Kokko, hitting the ball, and 3rd baseman catches it. Throws out Vihanto. No runs for Sotkamo in this second inning. And we go to the third inning.
Kainuun ammattiopisto. Vastuullisen tulevaisuuden tekijä. Oppimisen ja osaamisen mahdollistaja. Monialainen ammatillinen kouluttaja. Hae meille. Toteutetaan yhdessä sinun urapolkusi.
So, like I was saying about the strategy and the signals. So there are many signals, and in those last at bats we saw pitcher Surakka was able to disrupt Korhonen's final strike with a bad pitch, so he hit it foul. And on the next pitch, manager Jymy was signaling for Vihanto to start straight off from the pitch, and Kokko tried to hit a hard ball towards third base, but it was caught by the first baseman and he made an easy out.
Joona Sikio, number 1 hitter for Imatra. Vihanto catches this one. Sikio cannot advance. And now joker player number 10, Eero Kuitunen, trying to get on base.
Yes, and a big part of the manager's job during the innings is to decide who goes to bat, when he uses his joker players. You can use each of them one time during an inning. And also a big part of the game is to manage your batting order so that you start each inning in the part of the batting order that you want.
Nice play from Ville Kotrom. Throws the ball to first. Kuitunen is out.
Kuitunen was trying to advance to first on a chop, but it didn't bounce high enough.
And now Vihanto gets under this one. Dmitri Pesonen, number 2 hitter for Imatra, still has 2 strikes left. That was a strike. And now Pekkinen catches that one. Second out. And Imatra goes to number 5 hitter.
Skip over 2 players. They don't want to risk that the batting order will be cut off to number 3 or 4. So they skip over them, go to number 5.
And we must remember this is already third inning of the first period. Consists of 4 innings, so Imatra only has 1 at bat left after this one. And they're behind 3 runs, so something should be made out of this one already, but at least the last inning Imatra needs that one to start from a best possible place.
Yes, but they, like you said, they would also need to cut the deficit in this inning, so they would have a better chance of tying the game or winning the game in the 4th. Being down 3 and coming back from that during 1 inning is very difficult, especially during an outfield like Sotkamo's, which has allowed the least runs in the league.
Toni Laakso is at bat. A curved bunt. And now another try, but Kuosmanen catches that one. Throws out the runner, third out. 2.5 innings gone from the first period. Sotkamo leading 3-0.
Korpitaksi. Kainuulaista yhteen hiileen puhaltamista on myös se, että kulkuyhteydet toimivat entistä jouhevammin. Palvelemme sinua aidolla, luotettavalla ja toisesta välittävällä asenteella, niin kylillä kuin korvessakin. Korpitaksi.
Kiinnostaako uusiutuva energia tai tarvitsetko työkaluja vastuullisuusraportointiin? Ympäristölaskentaa, kannattavuustarkasteluja, tavoitteiden asettamista. Ratkaisujen etsimistä juuri sinun tarpeisiisi. Maailman vastuullisinta ruokaketjua rakentamassa. envitecpolis.fi.
Yes, we have seen some strategic plays from each team, especially this skipping of the batters. So you can skip batters from the batting order, so you get the fastest players to lead off when you want them.
But you only have 12 batters in each inning, unless you score twice. You need to score. Team needs to score 2 runs during an inning to get additional batters. Otherwise, it will run out of batters and the inning will be over. Now Purmonen on first base, Wikström again, and that home plate umpire Immo Rautiainen shows that Wikström batted using his hand, so that was a foul ball. Second goes to Muruvirta, who catches it. And now third strike for Wikström, trying to advance Purmonen and himself. Curve punt, Surakka gets to it, but displaces, throws over the first base, so Wikström also safe. Purmonen on second base, Pekkinen coming to bat. That was an easy out to be made, but Surakka couldn't make it.
Yes, Wikström was going for the sacrifice bunt in order to advance the runner to the second.
And a bouncer that wasn't the best of hit for Pekkinen, but it's enough for the fast Purmonen, who's on third base.
Yes, Pekkinen didn't get all of that one. He was trying to chop it toward the second base line, but he didn't hit it properly and it sliced into the middle, but it was good enough.
Bases loaded. Pekkinen punts Wikström to second base, goes to first. Roope Korhonen again. Against Muruvirta, it's a fair ball, and Purmonen is fast enough to score a run, and that was the run number 1,600 of Roope Korhonen's career.
Yes, batting his lead in the all-time RBI standings. And he also leads the league this season in RBIs. That was his 82nd RBI in his 23rd game.
And that was caught, but Imatran throws over to second base. Nobody can advance after caught ball.
Here we hear the crowd giving an ovation for Roope Korhonen for being the first player ever to reach 1,600 RBIs.
Aleksanteri Huotari went to first, and now his younger brother Samuel Huotari, number 11. Samuel Huotari is still only 17 years old. First bunt was foul. So is the second one. And a sacrifice bunt. And an out. Aleksanteri Huotari on second base. Veeti Kokko coming to bat.
Yeah, so Huotari was trying to bunt it towards second base line, but he whiffed on the ball completely. But that was good enough for Aleksanteri to advance to second. So Huotari got a little bit lucky there. Of course, Imatra was able to get an out from him on first.
And now Surakka picks off the runner from third. That's second out. And like we mentioned, Jymy has to score 2 runs using 12 batters, and now with Kokko being the 3rd last batter, actually 2nd last batter, Jymy has used all 3 joker players in this inning. So Huotari, who is on 2nd base, is an important runner for Jymy. They need to get him to home safely for the inning to continue. And Kokko slices the ball towards right field. Huotari advances to 3rd, and Kokko goes to 1st. And now Vihanto. And after Vihanto, there's Kuosmanen left. So two batters left, and Jymy needs 1 run for the inning to continue. 2 outs. First one was marked. Jymy signaled that Huotari comes home, but ball is hit foul. 2nd strike for Vihanto, and Surakka has the ball.
Yes, and they will most likely the next pitch will also be marked for the runner to take off. So if it's an out, Vihanto will start the next inning.
It is marked. It's catched. And that wasn't an out, but Jymy asks for a tactical out for the inning to end. So that if they need to come to bat on the 4th inning, Vihanto will start. But Imatran needs to score 4 runs unless this or this game goes to break for 18 minutes break after the 1st period.
Vuokatti-fiilis. Mieltä virkistävien kokemusten sekä kehon täydellisen rentoutumisen yhteisvaikutuksena syntyvä varsin valloittava tunnetila. Tuppa nauttimaan. Vuokatti.fi.
Tule sinäkin pelaamaan kotimaista nettibingoa. Avaa pelitili nyt ja saat 10 € ilmaista pelirahaa. Bingoon.fi.
Yeah, so if you were a little bit confused about the ending of that last inning, so first there was a great diving play by Mitri Pesonen in the infield. He dove and caught the ball. He wasn't able to throw the runner out at home because the pitcher wasn't tagging home base, so the runner was safe, but Jymy wanted to end the inning there, so they made a tactical out so that Vihanto would start the next inning if it's necessary for Jymy to use.
Also a tactical choice for the manager to use, because the situation was quite hard. Player on 1st and Vihanto only having 1 strike left, so
yeah, and 2 outs.
And 2 outs were there.
So it was very it wasn't probable that they were going to score in that inning anymore.
Mitri Pesonen, number 2 hitter for Imatra. Sikio is on 1st base. Komulainen has the ball. It is a ball. Sikio doesn't go anywhere. And Jussi Korhonen makes a diving catch. And both these players, only Sikio, who was running on that play, he's caught off. Pesonen still has 1 strike left. And Imatra in need of multiple runs during this inning. Pesonen has to try to go to 1st base. Turns it to left side. Right side. Kotro is there. Ville Kotro throws out Pesonen. Eero Kuitunen, joker player number 10 for Imatra, coming up next.
Yes, and because Imatra started the inning by skipping over 3 players, number 7, 8, and 9, so number 6 is their last batter eligible to bat. unless they score 2 runs.
Bekkinen tried to tag home base before Kuitunen returned it. That would have made an out, but Kuitunen was there first. Now he's caught off. And number 3, Mikko Kosonen.
And the situation is getting very dire for Imatra. It's going to be very, very hard for them to score 4 runs in this inning. Of course, first they are trying to go for 2 so that they get their another round of batters.
And of course, considering that the game has the second episode of consisting of 4 innings, Imatra will try to win that one anyway, so they could use some success during this inning, even though they wouldn't get the 4 runs that are needed.
Yes, they're trying to make some good plays to gain some confidence for the second period of the game.
So Kosonen was caught off. Santeri Pasi, number 4 hitter for Imatra, and Imatra has, after Pasi, 4 remaining hitters in this inning, unless 2 runs are scored. Elmeri Purmonen gets under that bounce, and he throws out Pasi. There are now 2 outs, 1 out left.
Yes, that's a fine play by Purmonen. The ball bounced very high and looked like he was surely gonna be safe on first, but Purmonen made a great throw. Threw him out.
Matias Kauppinen was the number 5 hitter. He gets base on balls. Only one ball is needed for a batter if their bases are empty. And now number 6 hitter Nino Muruvirta.
Yes, that is also a good thing to explain. So when there are runners on base, you need 2 balls to get a walk. If there are no runners on base, you only need 1 ball to get a walk.
And the walks always go to the point runner, not the batter. So if there's a player on third base and pitcher gives 2 balls, it will score a run, but the batter remains at home place.
Yes, that is a key difference when compared to baseball.
Second strike, also foul. Kuosmanen catches it, throws the ball back home, and now Imatra needs to get ball in play, and Jymy arranges outfield so that it's the most difficult. Kuosmanen is there getting that ball and throws out runner on first, so 3rd out, and 3.5 innings are gone, but Jymy doesn't need the remaining bottom of the 4th. They won the first episode 4 runs to 0. So it's 18 minutes break, and we'll be back.
Yes, in that situation, that was a very desperate situation for Imatra. They couldn't hit a fly ball because if it was caught, they would most likely run out of batters. So he had to go for it, try to hit a ground ball so that they would both be safe. And Jymy's fielders went deep so that they only had to worry about getting him out on first. And they were successful in that.
So, like we said, some 17 minutes of the break left, and we'll be back after that.
Se oli siinä 50-luvun lopulla, kun isäni sanoi, maalas sinä aivo tämä meidän talo aikasi kuluksi. Ei se maali ollut oikein mistään kotoisin. Ja mietin, että osasihan tuollaista itsekin tehdä. No en osannut. Tuli jo ensin yrittämällä parempaa.
Olen vahva.
Olen rohkea.
Olen määrätietoinen.
Olen luova.
Sieltä saa varmaan sähkön hinnan vuodeksi. Tai 2. Sanotaan, että ainoa huono puoli lomassa on se, että se loppuu. Mitä jos kertoisimme, että sen ei tarvitse olla näin? Kuulit oikein. Lomalla 365 on maailman ensimmäinen matkatoimisto, joka myy lomaa, joka ei lopu koskaan. Sotkamo. Se aito all inclusive. Täynnä päätä huimaavia maisemia. 5 tähden palveluita, unohtumattomia naapurustoja sekä uniikin rentoa elämän rytmiä. Paikka, jossa arki ja loma ovat yhtä ja samaa. Sano siis ei perinteisille ikäville pätkälomille.
Ai, viikonloppu Pariisissa. Miltä kuulostas 94 Sotkamossa?
Sotkamo on kohteena niin houkutteleva, että olemme päättäneet olla tarjoamatta lomia minnekään muualle.
Costa del Sol? Costa del Sotkamo.
Eikä tässä vielä kaikki. Sotkamon elinvoima avaa ainutlaatuisia mahdollisuuksia myös yrittäjille. Mekin avasimme toimiston tänne Sotkamoon, suoraan kunnan viraston ytimeen.
Mitä vielä odotat? Olen lomalla 365. Come on, Sotkamoon!
As you have noticed, the game goes on very fast, so lots of different things going on simultaneously, and we can use the remaining of the break to bite into a couple of these.
Yes, and as we see here, the replays are rolling for the run scored in the first period. But first, we would go through a couple of the rules we have seen so far, though. So the skipping over rule. So once more, the manager can decide to skip over batters from the batting order during an inning when there are no runners on base. If there are runners on base, you can't skip over the next runner. But if there are the bases are empty, you can skip over batters at your will. But you have to take into account that there are only 12 batters in the order to score 2 runs, so you can't skip over too many if you want to be able to score 2 runs. And then the pitching, once more, to remind everyone. So before the pitch, the pitcher has to gain the right to pitch by throwing the ball to one of the bases. Usually the pitcher throws it to first base because that's the fastest. And then the pitch has to start above the plate by taking a clear starting position where the pitcher's motion stops for a moment. And then the pitch has to be done with a continuous motion, and the ball has to be thrown vertically at least 1 meter or 3 feet and 3 inches above the pitcher's head. And the home plate umpire calls those pitches, and just like in baseball, the pitches and the calls by the umpire are a very contested part of the game. So it's entirely up to the umpire to decide whether the pitch was high enough, and the height of the pitch is an important weapon for the pitcher. So the pitcher is always trying to pitch as low as possible when there are runners on base to give the runners as little time as possible to advance during the pitch. But also the pitcher can throw very high pitches called pole pitches. So those are harder to hit for the hitter, but those also give a lot of time for the runner to advance when they are on base. So therefore you see a lot of pole pitches when there are no runners on base to make it harder for the hitter to get good clean hits. And then also you have seen a lot of those high pop-up fly balls. They are common play, so it's an easy way to avoid being out. And part of the strategy of the game is to avoid outs, especially when there are no runners on base. You want to save your outs to the harder paths to advance, especially when you have players in a scoring position. You try to have 3 outs left in that situation, so you hit up a lot of those high pop fly balls. And because if the fielder catches them, you are not out, you're only caught. When the fielders want to force a play, they intentionally drop the fly ball to force a bases loaded situation, for example, or to force runners on second and first, so that during the next 3 pitches the batters are forced to make a play.
And also the teams are not relying on clear out hits like Wikström hit on the first part of game, but they're playing the game percentage wise, hitting easiest hits that advances runners.
Yes, there's a lot of when the teams get ready for the games, they take a lot of so they scout the opposition very closely. They scout what the opposition hitters like to hit, what kind of hits, and they try to formulate their fielding against the best hits of the other team. And also teams scout the fielding of the other teams and try to find weaknesses in their formation, try to find the weakest fielders and put pressure on them during at-bats.
Okay, second part of the game has started, and now Jymy plays the top of the inning attacking. Elmeri Purmonen was the first batter. He's out on first base, and this episode consists of 4 innings, and the winner will be the team that scores most runs during these 4 innings. Wikström, number 2 hitter, hits a fly ball there. That is caught. So Purmonen played the first part of the game very good, always on first, but now he was out. Wikström goes to first, and Pekkinen, number 3 hitter. Jymy hasn't changed their lineup. Imatra has made a 1 change. We'll get to that when Imatra comes to bat.
Yeah, so during the break you can freely change your batting order. And you can also change Joko players into the lineup, and vice versa.
And you can take those changes, Joko players. If Joko is changed into lineup, you can take him back when he has played 1 inning.
Yes, and here we see Jymy make another tactical decision. They don't try to force a play with Pekkinen. He hits a high fly ball, and the runners are caught, and they skip over Huotari to get to the faster number 5, Vihanto, to lead off.
And Vihanto goes to first. And number 6 hitter, Kalle Kuosmanen. Suraka has the ball, goes to pick off. Still no pitch. And a bouncer, that's foul. So Vihanto needs to get back to touch first base. And as you can see, the bases are bigger than in baseball. The white area there is safe haven for the runners, and also there.
Yes, the fielder also has to be tagging the white base to be on base.
And Kuosmanen succeeds. Now number 7 hitter Aapo Komulainen, captain of Team Jymy, and also a pitcher.
Here Suraka is trying to keep Vihanto from trying to find out what's the signal, but also trying to keep Vihanto close to the base.
Doesn't get too much lead off. And a foul ball. The whistling sound you hear is the signal that the ball was hit foul. Runners need to get back from where they started from. Second one goes goes to the high fly ball to right field. It's caught. Now Komulainen has one strike left. Surakka keeping up pace with the throws. And that's hit with a hand, so Komulainen is out. Second out, Roope Korhonen comes to bat.
Yes, you can hear the other batters surrounding home base. They are yelling out where the ball is thrown, trying to help the runner. They are also signaling with their hands. They put the hands up when the ball is at home base, and they signal where the ball is thrown. This all is done to help the runner see where the ball is, and especially if the crowd is making a lot of noise, the signals help the runner to see where the ball is thrown.
And Korhonen hits a fly ball, it's caught, and Vihanto doesn't touch the base at the moment when the ball is caught, so he has to advance to third base, but no chance for that. Imatra throws the ball to third base and it's a third out. No score for Jymy in the first half of the first inning.
Showtime. To perform, we need partners with highest quality and ultimate endurance.
Einhell, proud partner of the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team. With Power Exchange. One battery for more than 250 tools for home and garden.
Together with Einhell, we achieve maximum performance.
Einhell, cordless excellence.
Toimiva netti saa hymyilemään kuin Naantalin aurinko. Meiltä löytyy luotettava ja nopea netti kaikille pientaloasukkaille. DNA-apuri on netin hankinnassa mukana alusta loppuun asti ja varmistaa, että saat netin, joka taatusti toimii niin kuin pitää.
In the last play of that last inning, we saw that Jymy was using a signal for a delayed start for Vihanto, so he started off from second after waiting for the call for a bad pitch, and the cry came, and he stopped, but Korhonen made a mistake. He swung at the pitch and hit a fly ball that was caught, so Vihanto was out. So there was the pitcher Surakka was able to disrupt Jymy's play right there with a bad pitch.
Now Imatra batting, Joonas Ikio on first base, Mitri Pesonen. And that was a strike. Immo Rautiainen, home plate umpire, showing a strike. And that was the third strike for Pesonen, so he's out. And Mikko Kosonen comes to bat. A foul hit.
He was trying to chop the ball, but he almost missed it completely.
It's a foul tip. So he's on to his third strike, and now we see Imatra Vesa Toikka signaling to hitter that a high fly ball in this situation. So two players are caught off, and one player is skipped. Number 5 hitter is Matias Kauppinen, and Imatra also changed their
batting order. So Santeri Pasi was the previous hitter playing number 3 in this part. Kauppinen on first, and Nino Muuruvirta trying to solve the difficult situation, getting man from first to second. Yes, and here we see Muuruvirta foul the first strike, and we see him position himself directly behind the plate. So this wind-up is for hitting those choppers.
And that Komulainen pitched the strike, then pitched the ball. Imatra having difficulties with Komulainen also.
Yes, Komulainen was able to ruin that at bat completely. He pitched a very low ball That was called a strike. Then he pitched very quickly after that. And Muruvita didn't have time to set properly and he did foul.
And 2 players are called off. Eero Kuitunen, joker player number 10. Imatra still has 6 batters left, but 2 outs already in this inning. And Kuitunen doesn't quite get there. He's thrown out from to first base. Aleksandr Huotari making the throw, so no runs in the first inning.
And here we see that the pace of the game is controlled completely by the pitcher, and how fast he keeps pitching is a very important tool for him. Komulainen is known for keeping a great pace. That gives little time for the batter to get ready, little time for the manager to change his signals. So that's an important part of the game, the pace that which the pitcher keeps. And also the fielders, they have to change swift position quickly so that the pitcher is able to put the ball in the air quickly. So these are also strategic differences between different pitchers and players. Komulainen also is the reigning best pitcher in the league. He was awarded the trophy last year.
Elmeri Purmonen, first pitch from Surakka was a strike. On the second one, Purmonen hits a grounder towards right and goes to first. No throw there. Jere Wikström, and again hitting the ball with his hand, using his hand, and that's a foul ball. Second one is Crowder to outfield, and it buys time for Purmonen to get ready for the third strike. Surakka has the ball, and here's the pitch. A bunt, and Imatra takes what they can get. Wikström is out on first, but Purmonen on second base, and Pekkinen coming to bat.
Oh, and there the fielding formation from Imatra was designed to get Wikström out. So they let him hit that sacrificial bunt.
Pekkinen slices a ball hard. It is a high bouncer. Purmonen advances to third base, and Pekkinen still batting. He avoids the out. And Imatra, Roope Seppänen caught that one. They don't want Pekkinen to get on base, so only a player on third, Elmeri Purmonen, number 4 hitter for Jymy, Aleksandr Huotari.
Yes, in case you are wondering, Surakka, the pitcher, is also wearing a helmet, whereas Komulainen for Jymy is not wearing one. So the pitcher and the outfielders are the only ones that are allowed to play without a helmet. But Surakka is the only pitcher in the league that decides to wear a helmet while pitching. So he's kind of a pioneer in this regard.
Iivari Vihanto, number 5, slices up bouncer and is safely on first before the throw.
And this suits Jymy very, very well. So Imatra caught the previous runners, and now they got the fast Vihanto on base.
2 fastest runners for Jymy. Purmonen on third base, Vihanto on first. Kuosmanen hitting. Second one goes foul.
There Imatra was able to pressure the hitter by crowding the infield so that he hit it foul. And now they also know that Kuosmanen wants to bunt Vihanto to second, so they are still crowding the infield a bit, even though there's a runner on third.
But Kuosmanen doesn't want to make the second out, so that was an interesting situation, and Kuosmanen safe on first.
That was a great play by Kuosmanen there. So Surakka threw an intentional bad pitch, but Kuosmanen was still able to make contact with the ball and hit a fine grounder towards the third baseline, and both runners were safe.
And Jymy takes a timeout. The teams have one timeout during the game. Now Jymy manager Iiro Haimi decides he wants to take timeout for his team, and they get to plan ahead what to do when bases are loaded. Probably Roope Korhonen coming to bat in one out situation, second inning on the second period of the game.
Yes, and they can also, while discussing the strategy, they can.
And here we see Kuosmanen. Kuosmanen was a bit of a surprise, but decided to hit. And Vihanto took off, got on second. Kuosmanen could have been out from first, but Imatra couldn't make the play. So you were saying?
Yeah, so they had a chance to discuss strategy. They also gave the runners some rest, so they'll be fresh for the next play.
And ball is in play. Surakka can decide when to pitch, and the runners are able to advance. Already, batter Korhonen needs to have one pitch before he can go to first base, but in this situation, of course, he doesn't go there before he gets the runners towards home. And very good hit there, and very good save from Roope Seppänen, the left shortstop of Imatra. That could have been multiple runs, but nobody advances on that. Surakka now slowing a bit.
Yes, and Korhonen is a very powerful hitter. He hits the ball consistently over 105 miles per hour. He didn't get all of that one.
Now third strike, and the pitch comes out fast. And Surakka once again, by giving pitches that are not the nicest one to hit to Roope Korhonen, manages to get on second out. Abo Komulainen is the seventh batter for Team Jymy, and last remaining batter, but there are two joker players, so.
And in this situation, they are usually trying to hit fly balls that drop before the outfielders. Try to hit them with a downward spin so that the ball rises quickly but drops quickly, and also bounces high one whilst it hits the ground. So those are difficult for the outfielders to handle.
Third strike coming up.
But Komulainen hasn't been able to get enough of them to get them off the ground.
There are two outs, third strike coming up. Jymy in need of a run here, and in pesäpallo, the third out, if the runner scores before the third out, that run will count. So Jymy only needs to get Vihanto from third base to score, and after that Imatra can make the third out, but Jymy still has the run. But Komulainen tries to slice it behind second base. Ball takes a high spin, goes way foul, and that's third out. So no runs, and we go to the bottom of second.
Eli meillä on ensi viikolla työmaa Helsingissä, sitten Tampereella seuraava viikko ja sitten sen jälkeen Oulussa.
Kyllä.
Ja siis mun pitää soittaa vaan tänne, niin ne hoitaa kaikki matkajärjestelyt ja varaukset mun puolesta mihin tahansa.
Aivan. No perkele.
Joona Sikiö, number 1 batter Imatra. Manager Vesa Toikka skipped 2 batters to get to Sikiö, who has used 2 strikes. And last one is hit high fly ball and easy catch for Vihanto. Sikiö is caught off. Eero Kuitunen, next batter, trying to get on base. Bouncer towards second. Ville Kotro is there. Number 9. Hitter for Jymy lineup. And again, this one is much higher and Kuitunen easily goes to first. And Mitri Pesonen, number 2 hitter. Again, bunt, but it's foul.
Yes, he was trying to once again fool the infielders with his bunt.
Try to bunt between the infielders so that either one cannot make the throw, but bunt's foul. Second one is also foul. And the last third pitch is a strike, so Komulainen throws to first. Pesonen is out. Now Santeri Pasi, number 3 hitter.
As you see, the batters, when they call a pitch bad, they spread their arms to signal to the runner that a bad pitch has been thrown.
That was a good bunt from Pasi that gives Kuitunen enough time to reach second base. Pasi still at bat. And Toikka signals another running play, but second hit is foul. And third hit into the air. Purvonen under it, caught it. Pasi is off, and Mikko Kosonen, number 4 now, hitting for Imatra. Kuitunen on second base is there. Point runner and only runner on base. Slicing there to middle, high fly ball, but it goes foul. Yes. Ball needs to be hit between the lined area for it to be fair.
Yes, unlike in baseball, you don't. It's not much use for you to hit the ball as far as you can because it doesn't bounce inbounds. It's foul. So that was fouled long, that first strike.
Kosonen to first and Matias Kauppinen trying to get Kuitunen to third base. Towards the middle, Kuosmanen makes a diving play there. Gets the out on third.
They almost get the double play from first. That was a great play by Kuosmanen.
And now Toni Laakso, Joker player, hits the ball into the middle and gets bases loaded. And Ville-Veikko Olli, who had 2 chances during the first half of the game now, comes to bat. Ball towards Vihanto, but nobody advances because it is well known that Vihanto is one of the best throwers in the game.
Yes, he's absolutely the hardest thrower in the game. He throws the ball 162 kilometers per hour. That's a whopping 100.6 miles per hour. So it's very hard to get runs scored off of him in the outfield.
And Jymy leaves room there, so Olli can put the ball towards Vihanto. Now Olli tries to hit the ball to outfield, but it's too deep, goes foul and third out, so no score after 2 innings. And that's, here we see Kuosmanen great play. Makes the out to third base.
Huippusuositut Ford-hyötyajoneuvot Vetteriltä. Luja ja luotettava ratkaisu jokaiselle kuljetusten ammattilaiselle. Tarpeeseen kuin tarpeeseen, myös sähköisenä. Fordit myy ja huoltaa. Vetteri Kajaani.
Jymy meitä johtaa, ei hidasteta, kova treenataan. Ei anneta periksi edes hetkeksi. Kentällä taisto käy. Hiki virtaa, kivikylässä voittoa maistaa jokainen.
In that last play by Kuosmanen, we saw great anticipation from him. Now you've seen during the game a lot of movement from the fielders. So because the pitch is pitched vertically, that gives the fielders a lot of time to move during the pitch and anticipate where the batter is going to hit the ball. They can also look at the wind-up of the batter to anticipate where he's going to hit the ball.
Purmonen takes a free pass with a ball to first base, and Wikström trying to advance him first. First one goes foul. Lots of foul hits during this game, and the pitchers have their say in that by pitching difficult pitches for the hitters who are trying to take skilled shots. And Wikström safe on first. That's a great play for him. It's a bouncer towards third base, runs after it and manages to get on base before the ball is thrown to first.
Again we see Surakka trying to get Purmonen to get a bad start from second.
And that was catchable, but Imatra couldn't get that one. Purmonen is beat up on third base. Took time to race there, catching his breath. Pekkinen still hitting.
Yes, Pekkinen got lucky there. He took a risk by hitting it towards the second base line. It went straight for the shortstop, who misplayed it. An unforced error by the shortstop there.
So Jymy gets bases loaded. Pekkinen is put on first, and Roope Korhonen. First one, high fly, goes way foul. And Surakka has the ball. Second pitch, flying, foul yet again. And now Surakka has the keys. Here's the pitch, and Korhonen slices the ball towards right field. It's a fair ball. Purmonen scores the opening run of this second episode of the game. Roope Korhonen the hitter, Purmonen the runner, and now bases are loaded. Surakka already pitched to Veeti Kokko. First one goes foul from the right.
Yes, that was a great line drive by Korhonen between the fielders. They had no chance. He got all of that one.
And Kokko hits second hit is foul. He has to hit intentional foul on third one. So he's out because everybody had to advance, and second hit was foul, so there was no time for the runners. So Kokko sacrificed himself. Now Huotari trying to get Wikström in, but Imatra outfield manages to throw him out.
Yes, so the signal was to start straight from the pitch. Wikström took off. Huotari intensely hit a soft grounder towards second baseman and relied on Wikström's speed to beat out the throw, but the fielder made a better throw and was able to get Wikström out.
Now Pekkinen only runner on third base, Samuel Huotari hitting. First one is caught by Muruvirta, the left fielder. Suraka gives a bad pitch. It's ball.
Yes.
And that one was marked. Pekkinen coming home. Samuel Huotari. It's an RBI single. Pekkinen scores the run. And now Jymy has scored 2 runs during this inning, has 9 batters available. Vihanto coming to batter. That was a ball. And again there's something in the center of the field. Jymy trying to get the ball in play there, but again it's foul. 2 outs. Samuel Huotari on first.
Yes, and Vihanto, who is at bat, you could say he's a 5-tool player. As we mentioned before, he throws the ball harder than anyone in the league. He also hits the ball over 105 miles per hour, and he's one of the fastest runners in the game also.
Third out to second base. Vihanto doesn't advance the runner, but Imatra makes the third out, so 2.5 innings are played. Jymy having lead now on the second episode, 2-0.
Nappaa unelmiesi työpaikka syöksymällä rohkeasti työnhakuun. Avoimet työpaikat löydät osoitteesta kuntarekry.fi.
Roope Korhonen RBI drive towards left and Huotari, and that was a bit of a mishandling of the ball from Imatra outfield, so Jymy got second run from that.
Yes, Jymy got a little bit lucky there.
And we have to remember Pekkinen hitting that drive, which was not caught, so Imatra could have made it much more difficult for Jymy without these errors, clear errors from fielders.
Yeah, they let Jymy get players in scoring position very easily with that mistake, and Jymy was able to capitalize.
Eero Kuitunen, starting hitter for Imatra in this bottom of the third inning. First one was foul. This one is ball. Kuitunen gets a free pass to first. Nino Muruvirta, number 6 hitter. And the first strike is foul. Fly ball to left field. Jussi Korhonen, left fielder for Jymy, catches it. Muruvirta not satisfied with his performance. Kuitunen and Muruvirta are cut off. Number 7 hitter is Roope Seppänen.
Yes, and like we mentioned, the right outfielder Vihanto is the hardest thrower in the league. So Jymy's left outfielder Jussi Korhonen just might be the best outfielder in the league. So Jymy has a very good outfield, the best in the league. And Jymy's defensive play, its fielding is among the best in the league. They currently have allowed the second least runs during the season, and they consistently give up fewer runs than the other teams.
Yes, having great range from fielders, gives the team lots of chances to play somewhat risky in the infield. So if the ball is hit to the sides, the Vihanto and Korhonen are to be counted that they can cut the ball off by running. But just as I said that, Imatra manages to get the ball in between those players, but only first and second base. The ball didn't travel that far.
Yes, that was a fine line drive by Pesonen, the middle of the deep into center field. And Jussi Korhonen almost caught it with a diving play and was maybe able to stop it from being a double with that dive.
And now Santeri Pasi, slow grounder towards second base. Kotro is there to grab it, and player Dmitri Pesonen was running from first, so he's out.
Yes, there we saw miscommunication between the players. So in addition to the manager giving signals, the players also give signals to each other. In that situation, the batter gives a signal to the runner on first, whether to advance or not. But there was a miscommunication, and although the ball was hit towards second base, the runner on first took off while he was not supposed to. And that's an easy out for Jymy.
Pasi lifts the ball high. Kotro caught it.
Yes,
Mikko Kosonen coming to bat, and one out, player on third.
Yes, and there are these signals in the game. There are some multitude of them. Also, the fielders give signals to each other. The pitcher gives a signal to the fielders when he's going to pitch the ball, so that they're ready for it. He usually gives the signal with his throwing arm.
And also Jymy manager Iiro Haimi was there on the right part of the frame, out of bounds there near Kuosmanen, who got that ball. Yes. He can also signal the players, and
he's also yelling out directions for the fielders. And also, if you have been wondering, there's, in addition to the manager, there's another non-player during the at-bats in the home base. He's using that other signaling device, and he's the assistant manager who gives signals for the runners, and he signals what the batters are going to hit. He's signaling to the runners where the batter is going to put the ball, so the runners can take off if the ball is good. If it's a good hit, the runner on third can decide for himself whether to take off or stay.
So lots of information being given out during the game, during every situation. And Imatra now has Toni Laakso batting, and they have one batter left, that's Ville-Veikko Olli. Player on third, player on first. Laakso drops a bunt. Komulainen also almost makes a good play there, doesn't quite get the out.
Yes, Laakso hit the bunt a little bit shorter than he wanted to, and Komulainen had a chance to throw the runner out, but throw wasn't good enough.
Second hit from Laakso goes foul. So one out. Imatra has one batter left. And Komulainen checking the signals from Vesa Toikka, Imatra manager. Gives a high pitch. Signal wasn't on. Pekkinen catches the ball, so two runners are on, and Ville-Veikko Olli is the last remaining batter. He needs to score both runners for the inning to continue, and also for Imatra to get back into the game.
So in this situation, it's most likely that the first pitch is marked, or at least the second is going to be a marked play for the runners.
But Imatra needs to watch out for Komulainen throwing very bad pitch, unhittable pitch.
Yes.
If he thinks that players are running straight from the pitch. And they are, and Olli puts the ball just foul. It was a very, very good hit, but wasn't there, and now there's a bit of a hurry here because time is running out. Only one strike left for Olli. Imatra now has the chance to score one run if Olli hits the ball in play, and Jymy cannot throw the ball to home base before the runner, but they do. Kotro gets to it. Komulainen made a bad pitch.
Imatra runs out of batters.
Yes, very, very hard to Olli to get a good hit on, and that means we have played 3 innings from the second episode. Jymy leading 2-0.
Yksi päivä mä päätin yrittää ja aloitin rakentamaan oman näköistä elämää.
Rakenna oman näköinen elämä OP-kevytyrittäjänä.
Kannatti yrittää.
We are nearing the end of the game. It's the last inning of second episode. There have been 6 runs during the game. Jymy has scored all of them. And that's a bit somewhat less than we have anticipated, but there's still this one inning left and everything is possible.
Yes, Jymy is in a good position, having won the first period, leading this by 2. If they can pad their lead during this inning, it would be very difficult for Imatra to win the game. They would need to, at this moment, they would need to score 3 in the bottom of the 4th to win the period and tie the game.
Pihanto, it's a bouncer, goes to first. Kalle Kuosmanen, number 6 hitter for Jymy. And Kuosmanen puts the ball towards second base, but it's caught. Mikko Kosonen was there, and he goes to second base. Pihanto is out. Kuosmanen is caught off, and Jymy instantly skips players 7, 8, and 9. Goes to their best runner, Elmeri Purmonen. And Purmonen advances to first base.
Yes, Purmonen with a lucky hit there. He was trying to hit the ball into the outfield, but he whiffed on it, and it was a perfect little slider toward the first base. And here we see Wikström giving some signals with his hands for Purmonen on first base. Like we said, there are a lot of signals being shown during the game. And a lot of fast decisions being made by the players constantly. It's a great strike by Wikström.
Muruvirta showing to the third base umpire that the ball strike would have been foul, but it wasn't. Pekkinen now. There's one out. Purmonen on second, Wikström on first. And that was a ball.
Sorakka trying to pick off the runner with an intentional bad pitch.
And Pekkinen again hits a high bouncer towards right. Purmonen has easy path to third base. And now we see fielders coming towards home plate, trying to get Pekkinen into difficulties with advancing Wikström, who Jymy needed to get on second base. But Pekkinen hits a good bunt. He has 1 strike left.
Yes, and like we saw on Pekkinen's first strike, he used the Baltimore chop. It's a very, or the bouncer, as you said, it's a very common hit in pesäpallo. It's the most efficient way.
Now a bunt. Trying to score Purmonen. Third baseman got to it, threw Purmonen out. Second out now, Huotari, and that one is caught. By Roope Seppänen, but that's not an out. The umpires signaled that Suraka was on the air, he wasn't touching the base. When Wikström reached the base, so he's only called off. No run. Huotari still batting, and Jymy has 1 batter left.
Yes, that made this situation very difficult, Jymy.
But this being the 4th inning, it doesn't matter where the batting order will. It doesn't matter where the third out comes.
Yes, but Jymy is very quickly running out of batters. They only have their 3 joker players after this, so this is a very tough situation.
Huotari trying to advance the runner, but that goes to right fielder Joonas Sikio. Catches the ball. Now only 3 players left. They're all joker players. Joker 11, Samuel Huotari. And bases are empty. 2 outs.
Yes, and none of these Jymy's jokers are really good base runners. They're all more of a power hitters,
maybe
sluggers.
Maybe the best word would be not the best base runners.
Yes, that's right. But in this situation, Huotari is the fastest one, so he goes to bat first.
A roller to right, and Huotari manages to get on base. Now Roope Korhonen. Suraka has the ball. First pitch, Korhonen hits towards second base. Tried to hit a clear out hit in this situation, would have scored the runner. And again, it goes foul. There's room behind second base for that kind of hit, but it has to be perfect.
Now the advantage is clearly on the fielders. This is a very desperate situation for Jymy. 2 outs, the last pitch coming for Korhonen.
A bouncer towards second base, and Korhonen, very good play from him. The fielder has to get the ball and doesn't get to the second base before Huotari is already there, and Korhonen goes to first. Now Veeti Kokko, who is the last remaining batter in this inning for Jymy, has all his 3 strikes left, has to score Huotari. First one is a high fly ball, goes foul behind right fielder.
Now with only 2 strikes left, Kokko will have to be successful on both of his next hits to be able to score a run. There's no margin for error anymore.
Suraka throws to third, tries to pick off Huotari.
And of course the fielders all know that Huotari will have to be advanced on this next pitch, so they'll be ready for it.
And now that one's foul. Also, so Jymy down to their last strike in this inning. And the fielders are covering the sidelines, so
yes, Kokko will have to try to hit Huotari home all the way from second base, so the fielders all went deep.
A roller, Huotari on third base, but the trip is too long. He's thrown out. No more runs for Sotkamo. They have 2. Imatra needs to score 3 runs for this game to continue after this bottom of 4th.
So now when we're nearing the end of the second period, Imatra would have to score 3 to keep the game going and advance into the scoring contest that would decide the game if both teams have won 1 period each. But before they start the last inning, you have seen how the teams use their lineup. So the basic lineup consists of the batting order consists of players who are specialized in being runners. Then there are skill players specializing in advancing the runners on base, getting hits. And you have those sluggers whose role is to get RBIs. And the manager's job is to use those skills of his batters the most efficient way possible. And here we see Kuitunen, who's a joker player. He's a good fast base runner, so he's often used to lead off the innings. Usually every team has a great slugger as one of the joker players, and these both teams have 2 sluggers.
Kuitunen makes an effort and error from Jymy. He goes to gets to first base. Mishandling of the ball from Aleksanteri Huotari. Nino Muruvirta, number 6.
And of course, the best players, like in every sport, they can do it all. They are fast-paced runners and skilled with the bat, and they hit with power.
Muruvirta hits good one. Drive to left field. A base hit. Kuitunen on second, Muruvirta on first. Roope Seppänen, number 7.
And when it comes to the batting order, usually at the end of the batting order there are good defensive players who specialize in fielding and who rarely take at bats. They are often skipped over if there are no runners on base.
Now second strike coming from Seppänen. Komulainen throwing with Huotari, who has now gone to the right side of the field.
It's a fine catch by Pekkinen there.
Kotro gets to that ball, that one. First out from second base, but Imatra gets the man on third. Kuitunen on third base, Seppänen on first base, and Surakka batting for the first time tonight.
Yes, Surakka is one of those players who specializes in fielding, and he's not often seen in these situations, in critical moments at bat.
But every player in Super Pesis knows how to handle a bat when the situation arrives. They are able to hit an RBI if possible. So Jymy forces bases loaded. Ville-Veikko Olli, number 12 hitter, is Imatra's power hitter. 1 out already. Imatra in search of first run of this game for them.
And now for the fielders in this situation, if they allow 1 run, that is not too bad, but they they can't allow Olli to hit a home run. So they will be playing it safe, especially during the sidelines.
Trying to get out to third base or second base if out at home is not possible.
Yeah. So they can pick off the runners that are behind the play if they can't get the point runner out.
Olli has hit two fouls towards right. Last strike left. Komulainen still hasn't pitched a ball during this at-bat.
Usually in this situation, they will be signaling for the delayed start, so they will wait a moment if Komulainen throws a bad pitch. And the assistant manager will show the signal to the third base runner.
And it is a delayed start, and Olli hits a good one. It's a base hit to right field, scoring the first run to Imatra. Eero Kuitunen the runner, and now Toni Laakso has the chance to tie this episode. Yes, Imatra suddenly is coming alive in this game.
Yes, that was a great play by Olli in a high pressure situation with his last strike to be able to hit the ball into the outfield fairly. It was a good play by Olli there.
And now Laakso second strike. It's unmarked, goes foul like the first one. And again, Jymy in the same situation. They'll try to get out at home.
Because it's a very crucial play.
And it takes too much power, goes foul. It's second out for Imatra. Laakso is out. Muruvirta still on second.
And now Imatra has their odds up against them. They would have to score
I'm
two.
sorry, Roope Seppänen is on third base.
With
Yes,
two
number 9
outs.
hitter Miika Riikonen hasn't come to at bat at all during the game. Now he has to hit the tying run for Imatra. And you need to change formation. First one is marked. Vuotari makes the catch out of bounds, so no run. Imatra still has 5 hitters left. They can lift the ball, allow the runners to be caught. And that is what Riikonen tries, and Ihanto makes the catch. So 5 hitters left for Imatra to score another run and then try to win this second episode of this game. Jymy having won the first one.
Yes, and in that situation, Imatra's manager thought that the odds were better to hit a pop-up fly there and clear the bases from runners, and to start with their leadoff hitter and their best hitters behind him to score the other run.
There are 2 outs. Sikio goes to first. Mitri Pesonen hitting. Imatra be down on their last out in this ball game, and they still need to score 2 runs.
Yes. There's little margin for error for Imatra in this situation. They would have to be successful
in almost every strike they take. Komulainen throwing the ball with Pekkinen, now has the ball at plate. Here's the pitch. And Purmonen almost reaches it behind the, stopping the ball on right field. Imatra has 2 runners on base. Santeri Pasi, number 3 hitter, next up.
Purmonen almost made a great play. He almost read the play, but he wasn't quite able to get there. Pesonen hit the ball hard enough.
Komulainen throwing to third base to Wikström. Sikia, fastest runner on Imatra team. First one is hit foul, and that makes things very difficult. No chance to try with that one. Vihanto gets the ball. We have been mentioning about his throwing abilities. And now, 2 batters left after Pasi. This is a do or die situation for Imatra.
Yes, they are really up against it now. Almost a desperate situation for Imatra. You can throw the runner out
at any pace.
At any pace. Goes for the bunt.
And he's out on first.
But let's wait for it. Imatra is calling for interference by pitcher Komulainen.
Pitcher Komulainen coming to get that ball. Did he interfere with Pasi? Now the umpires are gathering up near first base. They're deciding if it was interference, then everybody's safe and Imatra gets bases loaded, and that's the ruling. Komulainen was interfering. Komulainen was trying to get the bunt, but he was interfering the runner, so Imatra gets bases loaded. Number 4 hitter Mikko Kosonen now has the chance to tie this one.
No, in pesäpallo, both the fielders or the team doing at-bats can interfere, and in that situation the umpire called that Komulainen didn't allow the hitter to run to first base.
And now signals were on for Sikia to come home and also to Pesonen to run to third base, but Vihanto caught the ball, and that means both runners are caught off.
Yes, Imatra, with that they still had a chance, but with that ball being caught by Vihanto, their chances have dwindled to almost nil here. They had to take a risk, but they failed in that situation.
And still getting another chance for their last remaining batter.
And now it would Matias Kauppinen would have to hit 3 perfect hits in a row
to score both runners. Imatra actually needs only 1 run, so he only needs to get Santeri Pasi, who's on second base, to home, so Imatra gets the second run, and after that they can decide where they want to get on playing, because they would have 9 more hitters available, but they need that second run.
Yes, that's true. He only needs to hit two successful hits here in a row.
We're going to get a replay from that interference situation from our director. Here we see Komulainen pushing with his hand, Pasi not allowing him to run freely, so that was a good call from umpiring crew.
Yes, and there are lots of those situations during pesäpallo games, and they're always a hard decision for the umpires, because Komulainen also
was after the ball.
Yes, and he's eligible to go after the ball, but in that decision, in that play, the umpire decided that Komulainen was able to get to the ball using a different route, and he should have been able to let the runner run more freely towards first base.
Yes, and he used his hand to
push him. Yes,
push Pasi, and that was probably the decisive thing. Now, Matias Kauppinen, the last remaining batter for Team Imatra in this game, unless he scores Pasi from second base. He has 3 strikes left. Komulainen has the ball. Doesn't give the pitch yet. Throws to Pekkinen, gets the ball back. Now trying to throw the ball to second base to pick off Pasi. And here's the pitch. Both runners advancing. This would be an easy ball to Purmonen to throw out. Kosonen, and that will end the game. Sotkamon Jymy will win this second episode of the game 2-1, and after they won the first part of the game, they win both episodes, get 3 points from this game, and
Yes, Imatra goes home empty-handed.
Yes. So.
Olen vahva.
Olen rohkea.
Olen määrätietoinen.
Olen luova.
Yeah. Hei! Ei saa Oomia palloa!
Sori, jännittää niin paljon, ettei voinut vastustaa. Oomi.fi.
So, game is over. Victory for Jymy. 2-0. The episodes.
Yes, and we also got a little bit tension there in the end. I think we got a lot of different pesäpallo plays during this game. Hope this has been enlightening for our viewers abroad.
Yes, pesäpallo is a fast game. Lots of different things going on simultaneously.
Yes, they are giving the awards for the best players of the game for each team.
And Jere Wikström was best player for Team Jymy in this game. And we didn't quite catch who was awarded best player for Team Imatra. And these best players are coming up in the press conference coming up shortly. That will be probably in Finnish. We'll see.
Yes, most likely.
Rasmus Surakka, Imatra pitcher, was the best player for his team in this match.
Yes, but as you were saying, pesäpallo is a very tactical game. Lots of different strategies, lots of different variations of how to play. The manager is playing a very big role during the innings, deciding when the runners start off, when you have free hits. There's lots of different signaling going on between the players. It's very fast paced. The players have to be not only fast, strong, good throwers, good taking at bats, but they also have to be fast at making decisions during the game. During at bats, you have to make decisions very quickly on base, the position of the fielders, but also by the pitch, what the signal is. And as a fielder, you have to be able to read the play, read the hitter well, and that is to say that you have to have lots of different skills to play well at the top level. And of course, because there's so much strategies involved in the game, it's also a very hard game to learn at first, but once you get into it, there's lots of things to be excited about, lots of little things you can notice during the game, lots of little decisions you can agree or not agree with, how the manager decides to call the plays and so forth. So it's a very enjoyable game once you get into it.
Yes, very fun to watch. So, as you can see, coming up next is press conference. It'll take a few minutes before we get to that. This was Super Pesis from Finland, Sotkamon Jymy versus Imatran Pallo-Veikot. I hope you enjoyed the game, got a bit of a hang of it.
Yes, hopefully we have been able to answer some questions you may have had about the rules of the game, about the strategy.
And we might remind you that this is not the only English broadcast of pesäpallo. In the 4th of August, Punamustat from Helsinki will also televise their game in English.
Yes, they're playing in the 3rd tier league of Finnish pesäpallo. So lots of content coming in English for our viewers abroad.
So in a few moments we'll get to the press conference of this game. There will be questions in Finnish, answering in Finnish, and after that we'll get back to the studio and wrap up the game. So that was press conference from the game. Jymy won Imatra 4-0 in the first episode of the game and 2-1 in the second. So they got all 3 points.
And seeing as Imatra was in 9th place and Jymy in 2nd in the league, so this was, in Jymy's point of view, the way the game should have been. They were the favorite to win this game, and they were able to pull it off.
And Imatra gave a good challenge. Jymy only scored runs in 2 innings in this game, the first and in the middle of the second episode. But as said, Imatra hasn't won in Sotkamo for 20 years. That didn't end today either.
Yes, the drought is still going on for Imatra.
Yeah. We hope this has been enjoyable for you. Thank you for the viewers and Jymy organization. And hopefully we will see more content like this in the future.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more pesäpallo in the future.
And enjoying it, like we did.
Yes.
Have a pleasant day.
I think I would say this. When I started watching, it became very clear to me very quickly. Even in, we talked before the game. I've spent some time talking to other folks about how they should translate some of the things, and even how I would do it if I were doing it. But watching you do it, it occurred to me how much you have to explain to the audience. You have to decide while the game is playing what to explain, what to choose to explain. And because we don't have 100 games of this in English, we don't have it was interesting to try to think about how I would do that. And then watching you do it, and I said to myself out loud at home, oh, this is hard. Because I thought about what you must have been going through, thinking about all of the different pieces of the game to narrate at different times, while also being able to keep the viewer engaged with the game. So I thought it was really good. I really did.
Yes, the main thing was that how little time one has with the words, when there's already second thing coming up and third thing coming up while you're still narrating the first one.
That's the biggest difference between pesäpallo and baseball. Baseball gives you a lot more space for that air that you can build and have those side conversations and whatever. And I thought that too. I said, oh, we've got to figure this out, because it's so different than baseball and narration, because like you said, everything is moving very quickly. I liked seeing the beyond the detail that you provided. I appreciate that. I don't know the word Finnish word for remedial, but I appreciate that it wasn't super remedial. If someone had been watching but didn't understand everything, watching this telecast helped them connect some dots that maybe they knew a little bit, but you all did a good job of, the statistics too, like things about Korhonen hitting, it's all these RBI and things like this, that I didn't realize. I knew he was the all-time leader, but I didn't realize today was going to be his milestone hit. So I thought those were really nice things too for viewers to be able to have that, to know about some of the history, know about some of the players, the stars of the game. I thought that was really great too. I'm glad that we got to see some of that as well.
But it was a nice experience, and kind of thinking that we should do another one in some time.
Yeah, I think you saw, hopefully you all saw the energy. People were online, you know, they saw about it. I posted about it a few times. Other people posted as well. There were a lot of folks commenting in real time. Oh my goodness, this is happening. Give me a link right now. I have to see this. And so I think that, you know, there were a lot of secret fans we didn't know are out there who today got a chance. And I'm sure they'll obviously see this video and be able to go to YouTube later just to know this is going to exist. But I thought it was really cool to see people responding that over the years that maybe I've corresponded with, or just I didn't know they existed. Getting to see them excited about the game and getting to hear the game live like this, I thought was really, really great.
Did you get anything new from this broadcast?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think of, there were a few times that you said some things and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. And I'm trying to remember what they were. You know, I didn't realize that, I don't think I realized that the pitcher signaled to the fielders that he was ready. I mean, I guess I probably knew that, but I didn't know it was like an active thing. So that I didn't know. You know, I know what the players say to each other when they're behind the plate, but I never really asked anybody like what that meant. I just kind of assumed it was something. So you going into that was helpful for me as well. You know, and so and actually I had to leave halfway through the game, so I actually had to watch the video later to catch the rest. But most of what I saw, it was just, I thought it was really, like, I think this is one thing for people to understand that we know, but people at home may not know about this. You know, Fendi cameras, like when it's not a nationally broadcast game, teams will often have just a fixed camera on the field. Commentary is pretty new. Not every game has commentary. This is I like to explain to people in the US especially, but the fans of the game who see it, that, you know, in many ways it's professional, but in other ways there are a lot of volunteers that help these teams get going and to keep things going, because these are small towns, a lot of these major league towns. So and so this being a Fanny camera broadcast was probably one of the best Fanny camera broadcasts of all time. Like, I thought that too. I said, people don't understand, this is unusual. Even in Finnish, this is unusual. So to get it in English is really a big deal. But, you know, people at home don't always know that because, you know, they think every game is on TV. And I'm like, it is sorta.
What kind of game this was? Well, for you?
Well, a tale of two halves. You know, I have obviously everyone, you know, but everyone at home may not know that I'm a Vimpoli fan, so I don't watch a lot of Sotkamon games unless we're playing each other. So I haven't watched a ton of your games other than the games you've played this year against Vimpoli, which have been some games where you've done quite well. And so team is playing very, very well right now. That first half was obviously against Imatra. You all beat Imatra 3 times before this. And so obviously coming into today's game, I felt like it was going to be a pretty heavily Sotkamon game. But I think in the second half, that run that, you know, IPV had, scoring a run at the end there and getting close, made it more of a match. They did leave a lot. They left a lot on the field. They left 9 players on third base to Sakamo's 14. So I think they, per usual with a team like that, that's that low in the standings, that's just outside of the playoffs, you're gonna see some things where you're like, oh, well, they could have converted it and made it more of a game, and they didn't. But I thought it was a good game. I think in general it was a good game. Just their bats couldn't get going, and Sotkamon did a great job of you know, the hitters across the lineup, guys being able to do just enough. And of course, just the defense is always really strong in Sotkamon, and that defense wins championships, even in pesäpallo.
Yeah, and also Imatra played some pretty good defense, considering that it was 29 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
And way over 80 Fahrenheit, and it was really hot on the surface of the pitch.
How much hotter is it than is it much hotter on the field when it's that that?
It's over 40 degrees, so it's over 100 Fahrenheit on the field, and I tell you that our commentating booth it's not the coolest place also, so we were pretty hot there too, but I can imagine the players had hard time, and Imatra their outfield was playing very good considering these things, and Jymy players said afterwards that Surakka, Imatra pitcher, he made some really difficult pitches for them to hit on when trying to get the players to second base and third base. So Jymy had also difficulties there, but we saw only the foul hits and thought of they're not playing these situations well, but the pitchers made game much more harder than it could have been.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any highlight moment in a game that a baseball fan would think that, wow, what was that?
I mean, the home run, obviously, right?
Yeah.
The home run is, I think, I'm glad we got one. We talked before the game, if I remember, and we said we hoped we'd get a home run so that we could narrate one. It came a little early, but I think
little early for us.
Yeah, but I think home runs are exciting. It's a unique play in pesäpallo because it's a triple. It's a triple, so it's a little strange, and so I think that's always a great. Whenever it happens, it's really great because people are always confused by, wait, why did he stop? Wait, why did he hit it out of the park? But he did hit it out of the park. He just bounced first. So I think really the home run is the singular pesäpallo play that we had a lot of. I think one other thing that was cool too that happened a lot today. I mentioned that you all had Sotkamon had 14 players left on third base. Is that there were a lot of bases loaded situations.
Yes.
The tactics of pesäpallo, and because the game moves quickly, you can often have these scenarios that happen a lot where you'll load the bases with 2 outs and a guy, maybe you'll convert, maybe you won't. And I thought that was cool. And that's not, obviously, as you all know, not a common thing in baseball. Certainly not as fast as it happens in pesäpallo, that you could load the bases up. I mean, there were 2 different scenarios within innings that you all were commentating. And I'm like, wait, they load the bases again? Oh, wow. So, I've known that over the years, but I think for a baseball fan, seeing that, like we've said, it's the kind of sport you can't really turn away from for very long because you'll miss a lot. Because it can happen at any point. And I think that's obviously very different than baseball, where I can go get a hot dog, come back, and I didn't miss a whole lot. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Ron. And we'll probably in touch later.
Sounds good.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.